welcome to our show Health and Wellness Myths versus Facts. I'm Gargi Rawat. Now, the definition of health goes way beyond the absence of disease. The pandemic has put mental as well as physical health and wellness into sharp focus. Awareness of health issues is important for visibility in community, and the absence, inaccessibility or inaccuracy of information about chronic illness causes a lack of knowledge, which is worsened then by myths and fear as well as increased social media trust. Obesity continues to be a significant public health crisis. The pandemic only exacerbated a problem that was already quickly accelerating in the last decade. The pandemic revealed how the growth in obesity threatens the health of both individuals as well as healthcare system. Especially in India, obesity has reached epidemic proportions in the 21st century. Obesity increases the risk of several debilitating and deadly diseases, including diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers. Obesity is a disease and must be treated as one. Today we have with us an expert panel to discuss the problem associated with obesity and solutions to this. We're joined by Dr. G. Kiran, a senior diabetes management physician, Dr. Kiran's Diabetes Care and Research Institute, Hyderabad, and Dr. Nikhil Purushottam Dharak, a consultant physician, diabetologist and chief interventionist at KSC Hospital in Jodhpur. Thank you so much, doctors, for taking out time and joining us on this program. Coming to you, Dr. Nikhil, what is the difference between being overweight and being obese? Also, what is central obesity and why is central obesity a major risk factor for diabetes?
Overweight and obesity is basically abnormal and excessive deposition of fat in the body. There is basically a simple formula known as BMI, Body Mass Index, which is used to differentiate between overweight and obesity. BMI can be calculated by weight in kg divided by height in meter square. According to World Health Organization, any BMI of more than 25 and less than 30 falls into the overweight category, and any BMI of more than 30 falls into the obesity category. Central obesity, which is also known as abdominal obesity, it's deposition of fat in the abdominal region. Abdominal region is supplied by the periportal venous system, and these periportal venous system blood goes into the bloodstream, and these fat then leads to a varied variety of diseases such as diabetes mellitus, high blood pressure, cardiovascular diseases, endometriosis, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and the list is long.
All right, Dr. Nikhil, now what is the difference between being overweight and being obese? Also, moving on to the next question I had for you about how the internet is flooded with a lot of information about weight loss and a lot of misinformation also. What are the right methods to achieve weight loss? How much weight loss is safe?
Actually, it's a very good question, and I encounter these kind of questions day to day in my OPD practice as well. The basic fundamental for weight loss is you can lose at least 0.5 to 1 kilogram of weight per week. And reduction of weight more than 0.5 to 1 kilogram can lead to increased frequency of gallstones, increased hospital admission, generalized weakness, and all other complications like this. For you to understand how to attain a proper weight loss, there are certain guidelines which I can give you. Never skip your morning breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In case if you switch this breakfast, lunch, and dinner at that time, what will happen is you can eat on a lot of junk food all throughout the day because you are hungry throughout the day. Second most important point which I would like to tell you all is drink plenty of water. Plenty of water, what it leads to is, it can even lead to, sometimes I can see patients who are feeling thirsty, but they end up eating a lot of food. Third thing, eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. The benefit of fruits and vegetables is they are low in calorie and fat, and they are high in fiber. And fiber-rich diet is always good for the health. Also, I would like to tell you that when you have excess of calories in your diet, exercising for at least 5 days a week for 1 hour per day is very essential. Cut down on your alcohol intake. You can make the plate size and the bowl size a little smaller so that you end up eating less amount of. These days, whenever we go to the restaurants, we see people eat on like very fast. Actually, a study says that it takes around 20 minutes to 30 minutes for the abdomen to tell the brain that it's actually full. So I would advise people to stop eating food before your abdomen gives you a single signal that it's full.
Right, doctor. And what is the impact of, this last 2 years or 1.5 years of COVID and lockdown had on people's health and these issues regarding obesity and weight gain?
Yeah, basically these lockdown restrictions have basically made people more physically inactive. They are being at home, being on the couch and everything, and they are just eating lot of junk foods. And this is leading to overweight, and we all know that obesity is now recognized as the pandemic of 21st century.
All right, we have. Right now, Dr. Nikhil, what are medications indicated for the treatment of obesity? Are these medications safe for people who have diabetes?
Basically, over the past 60 years, the diabetes medications have been improved a lot. There has been a lot of research on diabetes. Currently, FDA, that is the Federal Drug Administration, has increased about 6 medications which are effective for the treatment of diabetes. These guidelines recommend that the patient should take these medications only if their body mass index is about 30 kg per meter square after trying on a dietary approach, or patients who have a BMI of more than 27 kg per meter square along with some diabetes related or some obesity related comorbidities can take these medications. I would advise all the diabetic patients listening to this talk not to take any of the anti-obesity medications on their own, because this will further impact their blood sugar levels. They can be at risk for hyperglycemia as well as hypoglycemia. So I would suggest them to visit to their consulting physician so that he or she can plan an appropriate plan for them so that they do not end up in hypoglycemia and they also adequately have their weight loss.
All right. All right, Dr. Nikhil, now obesity is related to metabolic rate and some food items can stimulate the rate of metabolism and help in weight loss. So is this true? And can you identify such foods?
100% this is true. As the rate of metabolism increases, the number of calories which the body burns also increases. So increasing the rate of metabolism will help you overcome obesity. My personal favorite out of the list is black coffee. Drinking 3 cups of black coffee per day will make you lose 100 calories daily extra. Also, being hydrated, as I already told, being hydrated leads to 24 to 30% increase in the basal metabolic rate. So that will also help you in weight loss. People who eat non-vegetarian food, eggs are a good source of protein, and protein-rich diet is also good for increasing the metabolic rate, and then hence it is also useful for weight loss. Certain other products such as flax seeds. Flax seeds not only have weight loss properties, but they are very helpful in treatment of arthritis, certain kinds of cancers, and all other disorders, autoimmune disorders. So flax seeds are another good option for them. Also, daily in our day-to-day activity, day-to-day life, we have ginger at our home. Ginger is also having a property which has a very high metabolic rate. Apart from decreasing the obesity, it also decreases the fasting blood sugar and increases the good cholesterol, which is high density lipoprotein or HDL cholesterol. Green leafy vegetables, when combined with vitamin C containing food, will also increase the rate of metabolism. Broccoli, lentils, flax seeds, all these things are very important for reduction of weight and increasing the metabolic rate.
And finally, Dr. Nikhil, are diabetes medications effective in the management of obesity?
Yeah, there are certain drugs such as metformin, alpha glucosidase inhibitors, GLB-1 agonists, SGLT2 inhibitors. These have been found very useful in weight reduction. Basically, but I would not like patients to take these medications on their own, because if they start taking these medications on their own, they may end up in severe hypoglycemia. So seek medical guidance, and in the presence of your consultant or your physician, ask them what medications to be taken, so that they can prepare an appropriate plan for you along with some dietary measures that would eventually help you lose weight as well as help you control your level of sugars.
All right, so very important information regarding weight management and the risks of diabetes as well as the medication. Thank you so much, doctors, for joining us on the program today and answering all our questions. And thank you all for watching at home. Goodbye.